identity is rooted in purpose. And that's what makes it so special here at Howard.
Research Day gives us an opportunity to showcase some of the activities and research being done on this campus. People can't do what they can't imagine. Research Day is about changing people's imagination.
What do we do about climate change? How do we build a more civil society? How do we eradicate poverty and hunger? How do we better understand the brain? What is the best approach for educating our youth? And how do we address global health challenges? And these are just a few of the vexing problems facing society that really calls out this community, the academic community, the scientific community, to provide answers. Society needs the scholarship, the insights, and the research from people like you.
I'm a doctoral student in communication sciences and disorders, and the title of my presentation is The Use of African American English in the Spontaneous Language of Children with Hearing Loss. So I'm looking at the use of...
I'm a sophomore physics major, and the title of my research is Low Gravity Liquid Gas Contactor. So we designed an experiment that would allow us to observe the breakup of
a case of a parotid tumor, which is a rare case in a 55-year-old male.
Our very own
tumor on the right
pioneer,
side, which measured about 6.7
visionary,
by 8.7 by 5
genius,
centimeters.
Geneticist, Dr. Georgia May Dunstan.
Who are we? And how does an understanding of who we are play in our capacity to solve the problems of our time? Not only for our people, but for all of humankind.
The idea for HU Advance started when I went to a informational tea hosted by Women as Change Agents here on Howard's campus. And at the time, Dr. Paula Wetzel-Rabot was the chair of that group. And she was standing there talking about her challenges, personal challenges as far as her career. And I was also experiencing some challenges with my career. And I thought, well, this is something that is not unique to me or to the other women that I'd spoken to. It's something systemic. And I thought, we should probably try to do something about this and tackle this problem. HU Advance is about education, advocacy, and empowerment for STEM women on campus. We have several programs that are designed primarily to make sure that we attract more women in STEM, that we retain the ones that we have, and that we move our women faculty in STEM through the various levels of faculty involvement, tenure, promotion, full professor, and those that want to go into administration, that we make sure that we have development opportunities for them to reach their career goals. So ultimately, HU Advance is a resource for women faculty to support all levels of their careers.
My first interaction with the disadvantages a women face in STEM occurred with my mom. The first time my mom told me the story of my grandfather, who was a lawyer, not encouraging her to pursue medicine, which was her passion, but to become a nurse because of her gender. It really struck me. I love my grandfather, may he rest in peace, don't get me wrong, but I think he was very wrong about that, and I still feel that way today. So very early on, I felt that what that disadvantage does was not something that I could support, and was something actually that I needed to work against. I've taken that now into my administrative career, where I see that disparity, and my intent is to close it. We have to recognize that most of the people who may be barriers or putting up obstacles are not necessarily women, and so we have to make sure we engage our male faculty and have them be sensitized. I don't think there's a lot of malintent in what happens, but I think there's a lot of accepting the status quo, and we have to bust the status quo. We have to make people aware that the status quo exists, And we have to make them aware that even when there's not malintent that may prevent a certain group from having the same opportunities as others, that we have to put that to rest. The HU Advance It here at Howard University, I think, is a great opportunity for us to do that.
This is happening at a time when the study of women of color in STEM is very popular. So there are many scholars, there are many funding agencies that are interested in studying women in STEM. And it's very important that we make sure that those of us who have a long tradition of success in cultivating the talent of women in STEM, recruiting faculty who are women and women of color, it's important that we are the ones who are contributing to the development of this knowledge. There's a gender gap in innovation. We only have 22% of women in the STEM workforce. At this time, we need men and women who are engaging in research and development. The HU Advance It initiative makes a significant contribution not only to Howard University, but also to addressing the nation's gender gap to innovation.
HU Advance It is a phenomenal effort on campus. I mean, when I was here, I didn't have any female faculty at all. Not in my discipline, not in computer science. We have 51 STEM women faculty here on Howard's campus, and they each have a unique story, and they each have a unique passion for the work that they do, and they deserve the spotlight that we give them. They deserve the support and the education and the empowerment and the advocacy that we give them. They know that they have a responsibility to teach and mold and mentor and make Howard students become Howard alum and part of the Howard legacy. But sometimes, you know, being a professor can be lonely. They're in their own silo, working on their own research. I realized that HU Advance It basically provides this community that we had no idea would be a side effect or direct consequence of the programs that we put out.
What I look forward for the Advance It grant, I just wish this society can last long to give us the home, to make me to be part of a group. I just love that, and I wish this society can go long and forever, so we all will be there.
It was a great pleasure to see the advanced program develop at Howard University. The women on this campus have worked very hard, but frequently in isolation from each other, and the advanced program was a chance for the women to come together and share their common interests and their goals and obtain peer support. The advanced program has created several important opportunities for women on the Howard University campus, including a symposium where Howard's women were able to showcase the research that they were doing and learn from each other, and a really fascinating core experience study which has allowed women to reflect on their experience as STEM women at Howard University, and we can learn a lot from the paths that they have chosen and the frustrations that they have faced in helping women for the future develop as STEM scientists. I know the HU Advanced program will transform the lives of women at Howard University.
The Advance It program serves as a platform for change. It imparts knowledge where women learn how to be leaders, learn that they can be university presidents, or are encouraged and inspired to do it. And it also serves as like a beacon. Like many women in the professoriate, particularly in STEM, feel isolated. And so it serves as this light, like, come to us and you won't be isolated. You'll see that there are women who are struggling in the ways that you do. You see that there are women who are doing the kinds of work that you can do. You can be supported and encouraged. I think Advance It is really on target in terms of doing what it proposed to do in terms of getting the money from the National Science Foundation, but even beyond.
HU Advance It is important because it creates an environment for role models. That's the biggest thing that I think that I've been hoping to develop. I just remember how important role models were for me. And just the opportunity to be able to do that here at Howard. And it's not just about women in STEM, for me, it's about, you know, women of color and even more specifically women of African descent. In terms of the mini grant, with the HU Advance It mini grant, so I was actually awarded last year, not this year. And last year's award really helped us to kind of get started with a lot of the experiments that we've needed to do in order to go out to seek additional funding. So we're still in the process of, you know, doing some of these preliminary experiments, but we're really excited about where this is going.
HU Advanced, I think, is a nice opportunity for Howard to really think about how we think about women and the success of women on our campus. I've known about Advance It since the kickoff, I guess. I'm on the internal advisory board of Advance It, so I get to meet and hear about the progress of the grant as it goes on. You know, one thing that we did at the writing retreat is we talked to women. There were all women there, in other fields, women from the med school that I would not have met otherwise, women from different departments across campus. It's not easy to meet folks in other departments always. You know, you kind of get in your department, you do your work on campus. So it's actually ironically easier for me to reach out to people in my field who are outside of Howard than to see other people who are not in my field within Howard, if that makes sense. So it was good. Advanced It, I think, has allowed me to meet people I wouldn't meet, work in a way I hadn't thought about working before. So, and I think just for a lot of women who are still going through the ranks, it'll be transformative in a way they're promoted and tenured at Howard.
This is not about filling quotas. This is about excellence. And what the female gender brings to STEM is excellence. And we have to embrace that because that's what we're about at Howard University, excellence in STEM.
This has been a rallying cry to help leave something behind, particularly the women of my generation. That's what I say to them. We can't, you know, we have to leave something behind for those that will be here when we are long gone, and they see HU Advance It as part of their legacy for Howard.